evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob on this cold February evening. And folks, I got to tell you right off the bat, my next show is going to be a doozy. Actually, it's an old show. It's a show I taped, I think, in 2006 with a woman that's done very well for herself. She used to be the weekend anchor on sports anchor on NBC 10 with Frank Carpano. She went on to bigger and better things. Catherine Tappan's her name. She ended up in Boston, Nissen, whatever it's called. And then she ended up, I think she's with the Hockey Channel or something, isn't she? NHL Network or something. She's done very well for herself. Well, I did an hour, just her and I, down in East Greenwich on the upper deck of one of the restaurants on the water. And I just did, her and I talked back and forth for an hour about her, not about me, about her life, about her school, about everything about her. And she used that as a tape, apparently, and she's done very well for herself. And another one that followed right after that was the girl that's on the weekend weather girl for NBC on the Today Show. You know who that is? Dylan Dreyer. Remember Dylan was on the show? Dylan Dreyer come on the show after that as on a recommendation of Catherine Tappan. And she used her show, the clip from her show, to go on to bigger and better things. And then right after that, we also had the young lady from Channel 6. What was her name? Do you remember? Sabani Banerjee, right? She's on Channel 7 in Boston, and a few others. Anyway, we're on An Hour with Bob, folks, and I will be flying the friendly skies for the next show. So 2 weeks from tonight, I will be off to the other side of the world. I'm going to where my brother was in Vietnam, hopefully. I'm trying to get into, I want to go to Vietnam. I'm going to go over that area, and hopefully I'll be allowed to go into that area. If not, then I'll go somewhere around there, but it'll be fun. I'm going to do a Bob's Big Adventure in the Southeast Asia. So while I'm taping that, you're going to be seeing a show we shot in 2006 with Catherine Tappan. Well, tonight we got an interesting show for you. We got a little bit of the flower show. We're going to talk about the flower show tonight. We got my good friend, 11 years old, plays a guitar like a 30-year-old, and he's got to go on to bigger and better things. I can spot this a mile away, and I've said it. I said it about another one was Christine Johnson. She's on WCBS in New York City. She'd been on the show 3 times, and I said to her when she was on the show, I said, I actually predicted she would fill in for Katie Couric, which in fact she did. And now she's the anchor, the nightly anchor on WCBS in New York City. And I say this kid right here, the kid you're going to see in a couple minutes, Nolan Leet, or Leet? Leet? You like the Leet? You don't like the E in it, huh? Nolan Leet. Nolan, you're what, 11 now?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to hear from Nolan in a couple minutes, the wild man and the second coming of Jimi Hendrix.
Okay, yeah, sure, okay.
Okay, you take that, huh? No, pretty good guitarist, huh? And we're going to talk a little bit about, before I get to my other guest, we're going to talk a little bit about The Tonight Show. Had a historic night the other night. Jay Leno left The Tonight Show, and it was a somber moment. It's a somber show. In fact, I got the clip from the show, and we're going to show the clip tonight. I'm going to introduce my guest, and we'll talk for a few minutes, and I want to show the clip of The Tonight Show, Jay Leno's final night on The Tonight Show after 22 years. And ironically, I didn't realize it at the time, but Jay Leno started in 1992 on The Tonight Show in March, I believe. We started this show in May of 92, same year. Only difference is he made $300 million. I made $3. Anyway, back to our show. And thank you for spending an hour with Bob. Oh, I got to say this, though, folks. The show is, people always ask me the schedule of the show. This show will air Thursday, if you're watching it now, of course, so it's probably Thursday night at 11 o'clock, or it's Friday night at 10 p.m., or it's Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. It's on, that would be on Cox 13, It would be on Verizon 32. It would be on full channel in the East Bay on channel 49. Or it would be on 24, 25, and 31 on Verizon on Saturday night at 11 p.m. or Monday night at 10:30 p.m. Also on Cox, channel 18 on those same times. So that's the schedule. Always has been. Hasn't changed in at least 10 years, more than 10 years. That has been the schedule of An Hour with Bob. Bob's Big Adventures, another show, right, John?
Uriah Allen, who
John's on the floor tonight, huh?
made
John
tremendous
Flanagan.
contributions in the Industrial Revolution, and actually,
Anyway, folks.
his mill, the Allendale Mill, established a lot of firsts in the mill industry. He also found
What kind of name is that? You know something? I knew that. Why did I would have guessed that, but I didn't want to guess it because I hate to do that and then find out. And as I told you before we come on the air, I don't like to talk to my guests before the show. And people may not think that's true, but it is true, right?
It is, yeah.
I don't want to talk to I want it to be fresh. I want it to be a conversation so the people, when they're watching it, they might think the same, oh, I would have asked that question, or I want to know that answer too. Mm-hmm. Now, I hear your voice on the radio first. We'll get that out of the way right off the bat. Now, Pro AM, am I correct in assuming that?
Yep, News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM, WPRO.
Whoa, whoa. You look good on TV. You got a face for TV, too.
Oh, thank you.
That's not necessarily the case with radio people, but you do fit the
Thanks.
bill well. And how long have you been doing television?
Oh, I haven't, this is my first time
radio,
on
I'm
television.
sorry, radio. How long have you been doing radio?
I've been doing radio. I started working there a year ago this month. So
Really?
it's brand new, really, and I've learned something new every day. It's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you from Warwick?
From Warwick, Rhode Island. Born, raised, still live there.
With mom?
With mom and dad.
Mom and dad?
Mom and dad.
Like mom and pa Kettle, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mom and Pa Kalunian.
Any brothers and sisters? or-
Just me.
Just you.
Just me.
What's it like being an only child? I come from a family of 9.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
We had to fight for everything. We had to fight for food.
well, there's
You
no
got everything
fight.
for nothing.
I don't have to fight anyone. It's
No
true.
kidding.
It's true. I get all the food that I
Well,
want.
it's kind of boring, though. I mean, we had a battle. We had a battle. It made us tougher.
I don't think I would do well in a battle.
No?
Though. I mean, no. I don't think
No,
I would do
it's
well.
not always fisticuffs. It's outsmarting the other, too.
Oh,
You know?
okay,
It's not
well,
always, it's not always a physical thing. It's
Maybe in a battle of wits, I would do better. But I love being an only child. It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because now, if you had a family, would you have children?
Oh yes.
Would you have one?
Probably more.
That's always the case. It's always the case. People that come from
But that's a long while away. I mean,
well, you're
things
still a
could
youngster.
change.
You're still a youngin.
Yeah, I might decide maybe that's one is enough.
Right. Did you? Well, by the way, I mentioned Jay Leno. Do you know that he has never had any children?
Yes, I did know that.
Yeah.
No one to hand off his big fortune to,
Yeah.
and his many cars.
And do you know also that Jay Leno? I met Jay Leno. Jay Leno's from Massachusetts.
Cool.
He started out. He left Massachusetts, got in a car, came to Pawtucket, Rhode Island, where we do the show, picked up a guy from Pawtucket, a friend of his from Pawtucket. They're both comedians, and they left Pawtucket and they shot out across the country. And Bob Perlow is his name. They owned the Perlow shoe store in Pawtucket. The family did, and they shot out to California. And for 13 years, Bob Perlow was the opening act on the Tonight Show. You didn't see him watching the show, but if you went to see the show live in person, you would have encountered him because he would get the crowd livened up. And Jay Leno had the biggest studio audience on TV, I believe. And he would get the crowd going. And I was invited up behind the scenes one day to see the whole making of it, the setting up of, as you saw here tonight, how we set up the show. But they got a big operation. And do you know Jay Leno actually took a huge cut in pay because they were going to, a few years ago, they were going to lay off about 40 people. And he said, no, I'll take, I don't know how many millions less so they could keep the staff. In fact, did you see the final Leno?
I wasn't able to watch it, no, but I heard it had the biggest audience that the show has had in the past 15 years. A lot of people watched it.
By the way, he went out number 1, you know.
Oh yeah.
Which is strange
It's the
that
way to go.
they would pass, you know, they would say, you know, you're all done. when he's on top. He was
Yeah.
the top dog on TV. And he talked about it on when he said goodbye, and he he teared all up. He talked about his family. He says, the only family I have is these people. He says, my mom died one year, the first year I come out here. Second year I come out here, my dad died, or vice versa. And then the third year, right, his brother died, right? So he went out there, and that was his family were these people.
Right.
So he actually, even though he had higher ratings than Letterman, he took
Almost fell off my
he
stool.
took several $1 million less money than Letterman just so he could keep the staff there.
Wow.
And he said he had been given offers to go to other stations, other networks, and he said he would not work for a non-union station, a non-union network.
Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. Anyway, well, you're an interesting young lady.
Why,
so
thank you.
So where'd you go to school?
I went to Moses Brown for high school.
Oh, really?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a great place.
I'll bet.
Beautiful campus.
It's almost like college.
It really was. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Can you imagine sending 8 kids to Moses Brown? Oh my God. What's it cost to go there today? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea.
It's got to be 20,000 at least.
Probably, maybe
maybe
more.
Maybe more than that, actually. Maybe more than 20,000.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's like college tuition.
All right, so let's get to what you're doing now.
Okay.
Now I understand you are the cherry blossom queen?
Princess.
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 Well, I guess you're a queen. You're
Well,
a queen in my eyes. You're not a princess.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not officially queen yet. It could be someday.
Oh,
That's a potential. But
Okay.
right now I am just a princess.
you're
in the
you're a
running
princess
to be queen.
of Rhode Island, and now you're going to a national pageant.
Exactly.
Where is it? In Washington? Is it?
Yes, so it's not really a pageant. It's more of just a gathering. It's a week-long thing where the princesses from across the country travel down to Washington, D.C. We do community service. We do sort of a behind-the-scenes tour of the nation's capital and meet with ambassadors and dignitaries. And then at the end of everything, they spin a big wheel with everyone's name on it, and whoever it lands on is the queen.
Cut it out.
Yeah, and represents the U.S., and she gets to go to Japan to represent the United States in the International Cherry Blossom Festival.
Wow.
Yes, so it's not
That's
really
cool.
a competition. It's just sort of luck of the draw.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's interesting that they spin a
Spin the
wheel.
That's it.
Is Vanna White there or anything?
I hope so.
Yeah?
That would be
They
fun.
just spin a wheel. That's pretty cool. That's so there's no gamesmanship going on there. There's no
No.
throat cutting or something.
No, no competition. It's just a chance to network and meet the other girls and have a good time.
Wow. And there are how many? Are there 50 or the 52? That they also have the possessions of the United States?
Yeah, so I think so, yeah.
Like the Virgin Islands
Right,
and
like
Samoa.
Puerto
and-
Rico and Guam, I think,
Right,
are
right.
in there. And I think some states, depending on the size, have 2 princesses.
Oh, that's not right.
So-
I don't agree with that.
There's only one from Rhode Island.
It should
though.
only be one. It's only got to be one.
Only gotta
one
be one.
winner.
Only
One
gotta be
winner. The Rhode Island.
That's it.
Now, what got you into that?
Well, I actually, so being in the media business, I got a press release about the Cherry Blossom application. And I thought, well, that looks great. It was based on your academics, your career, and community service. And you had to write an essay and send in a resume. And so I thought, well, that sounds great. I don't have to, do any of the pageantry. I don't have to do a swimsuit competition. I just have to write a nice essay
Well,
about
what's wrong
myself.
with a swimsuit competition?
Nothing.
What-
I just don't think I would do very well. So
right, Mom?
Right, exactly. Yeah, she looks really embarrassed. But so I submitted my stuff, and I saw that part of if you won, you would get to go to Washington D.C. and also take part in the local Cherry Blossom Festival, which is in May. And I thought, well, that sounds like a fun time, and I submitted my stuff, and they selected me. So
Wow.
yeah.
So the other one, the local one's in May here?
Yes, it's in the Blackstone Valley. So I was
My boy Bob Billington's running that, right?
Exactly, yeah. I was actually out to dinner with him last night, and he said that they have something like 200 cherry blossom trees in the Blackstone Valley,
Right.
which I didn't know. And so we do this festival in the spring to celebrate these trees and the beautification of the Blackstone Valley, and yeah.
I think if memory serves me correct, I think Amos' Boulevard's lined with them.
I think you're right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm going to take a chance right now and say hi to Nolan Leet. This kid's going places. Nolan, You're 11?
11, yes.
11, your birthday was when?
October 8th.
Oh, that's right, we're Libras. We're Libras. When's your birthday?
July 20th.
July, what are you, Cancer?
Yeah.
Cancer, we got Cancer, we got Libras. How do they mix, Cancers and Libras?
I mean, we're getting along, so.
No, that's it, Cancers and Libras, that's it. But Libras, we're Libras, we're, right, we're tight. Libras and Libras, right?
Yeah.
The 6th?
8th.
Yeah, well, the 8th. My birthday's September 24th. So remember that next year,
Okay.
right? So what are you going to do for us?
I'm going to play Saw Her Standing There by the Beatles.
Oh, really? By the way, did you watch the Beatles'
Yes.
50th the other night? What'd you think?
It was awesome.
Who did you think sounded the best of all the people that did Beatles stuff?
I think Gary Clark Jr. did a very good job. And him and Keith Urban.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple not so good ones there, but most of them were pretty good. Most of them were pretty good. Well, anyway, give us a song.
Okay. Well, she was just 17. Yeah, you know what I mean. And the way she looked, no one could rate. So how could I dance with another? Ooh, and I saw her standing there. Well, she looked at me, and I could see that before too long I fall in love with it. She wouldn't dance with another. Ooh, yes, I saw her standing there. Oh, my heart went boom when I crossed the room. Oh, I held her hand in mine. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held gonna die. And for too long, I fell in love with her. I wouldn't dance with another. Ooh, yes, I saw her standing there. Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in mine. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long, fell in love with her. Oh, sure, I would never dance with another. Ooh, yes, I saw her standing there. Yes, I saw her standing there. Yes, I saw her standing there.
Whoa! Nolan Lee, did I just hear something, Nolan, from your father? That's the first time you played that song?
Yes.
Now I'm really impressed. That's the first time you did that song?
That's correct.
Wow. How about that, huh?
Thank you.
Holy cow. Very good job.
Thank you.
Well, you know, I'm going to show that clip. I got to show the Jay Leno clip. You got it? You got the Jay Leno clip? Then we're going to come back to Kim Kalunian, and we're going to talk more about cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms in your life.
I am the luckiest guy in the world. I got to meet presidents, astronauts, movie stars. It's just been incredible. I got to work with lighting people who made me look better than I really am. I got to work with audio people who made me sound better than I really do. And I got to work with producers and writers. And just all kinds of talented people who make me look a lot smarter than I really am. I'll tell you something. First year of this show, I lost my mom. Second year, I lost my dad. Then my brother died. And after that, I was pretty much out of family. And the folks here became my family. Consequently, when they went through rough times, I tried to be there for them. The last time we left this show, you might remember, we had the 64 children that were born among all our staffers that married. And that was a great moment. And when people say to me, hey, why didn't you go to ABC? Why didn't you go to Fox? Why didn't you go? I didn't know anybody over there. These are the only people I've ever known. I'm also proud to say this is a union show, and I have never worked. I have never worked with a more professional group of people in my life. They get paid good money, and they do a good job. And when the guys and women on this show would show me the new car they bought or the house up the street here in Burbank that one of the guys got, I felt I played a bigger role in their success as they played in mine. And that was just a great feeling. And I'm really excited for Jimmy Fallon. You know, it's fun to kind of be the old guy and sit back here and see where the next generation takes this great institution. And it really is. It's been a great institution for 60 years. I am so glad I got to be a part of it. But it really is time to go. Hand it off to the next guy. It really is. And in closing, I want to quote Johnny Carson, who was the greatest guy to ever do this job. And he said, I bid you all a heartfelt good night. Now that I brought the room down. Hey, Garth, you got anything to liven this party up? Give it a shot.
That was sad. And I like the fact that he mentioned Johnny Carson as being the guy. Nobody was better than Johnny Carson. Nobody. Nobody compares to Johnny Carson. And by the way, when Johnny Carson did the Tonight Show, it was 90 minutes. It was not 60 minutes. And by the way, these shows now, these guys do a 42 minutes. If you take all the commercials, they actually do a 42-minute show.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson show was 90 minutes, minus a few commercials. They had like a commercial, what, every 15 minutes, John, right? 1 or 2 commercials every 15 minutes. Right, started in New York, went to California, then back, now they're going back to New York. But I'll tell you, that void is good. And I'm going to make a prediction. That void is going to leave something wide open because now Fallon is going to take on Letterman in New York. So you got all these people that worked on that show in California out of a job, and you got all these movie stars and whatever that don't like to come to the East Coast that would want to go on a show. And Kimball's out there, right? Kimball's in L.A. But I think what's going to happen is, I think Jay Leno is a workaholic. And I think what's going to happen is somebody's got to make him an offer he can't refuse. He's got to end up on another network. He's got to end up on another station, I think. Because even when he was working there, oh, by the way, I didn't answer the question. I got to give the answer today, John. I asked the last show, Corey, do you remember? Who was the only person that filled in for Jay Leno in 22 years?
Bob Venturini.
Who was the only person that filled in for?
Was it Joan Rivers?
Anybody know? And I found out I am correct. I was right. It's only one person that's ever filled in for Jay Leno in 22 years.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
They switched jobs for one day.
Oh.
They switched jobs. Leno took that person's job, and that person took Leno's job.
Stumped. I'm stumped.
You're stumped. All right, well, maybe we'll get to it. Maybe we won't.
Oh, the
All right.
suspense. The suspense is
Kim,
killing me.
how you doing?
I mean, I'm
Now, when are you going? When are you going to
to D.C.
D.C.?
Mid-April for a week. I'm there.
Mid-April.
Mid-April.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is Bob going with you?
I think he's going to come down.
Well, tell him I'll go with you. I'll represent the city of
Great,
Pawtucket, the
you
state
can
of
be
Rhode
my
Island, the great
escort.
state of Rhode Island. That's right. Tell him. Tell him.
Excellent.
I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. We'll go down to the great state of Rhode Island. We'll represent the great state of Rhode Island. I like promoting the state of Rhode Island. That's what all I've been doing all these decades, for decades. Anyway, do you have to do anything? Do you have to sing, dance? Do you have to?
Oh no, No, I just have to go down there. I do have to bring some gifts, actually, which I think is interesting.
Oh, you got to bring like Dell's lemonade, a coffee syrup, and all that stuff.
I wish I could, but we're not allowed to bring food because naturally I would bring something like that: the Dell's
Right.
lemonade, the coffee milk.
So what do you
the
got to
clam
bring?
cakes.
Alex and Ani.
I could.
Alex
could
and
bring
Ani. There you go.
That's-
Alex. I like to have Alex and Ani on my show. I got to get them on. I got to get the folks from Alex and Ani on my show. We haven't even talked about that. I've never talked about that, but I got to get the owners of Alex and Ani on the show.
Well,
because-
Carolyn Rafaelian.
Right.
Do you know what kind of a last name that is?
Australian.
Nope, close.
It's Armenian?
Yeah.
Cut it out. She's Armenian? I thought she was Italian.
Well, she might be also that, but her last name is definitely Armenian.
Is it really?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, we must talk. Anyway. Well, Kim, well, wait a minute. What's Mom's name?
Her first name?
Yes.
Well, it's Karen.
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 With her only child. She must be very proud of you, huh?
I don't know if she's not. You nodding? She's nodding.
She's nodding. Of course she's nodding. What'd you expect her to do?
Shake her head. No.
Shake her head no?
No, of course. Of course she's proud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get picked for that? This is going to be the last couple of questions.
Yeah,
How'd
so
you
I
get picked
just
for
had to submit, again, the essay and
Right.
the resume, and we actually have a state society that is based in Washington, D.C., but it's people from Rhode Island who are down in D.C.
Wow.
who went through all of the applications and decided who was the best fit.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you were the best fit, huh?
I suppose I was.
Oh, you not suppose you were. Not suppose you
I
were.
am.
You're there. You're
And
there.
Here I am. I'm the
So,
princess.
all right, we got to talk to Bob Billington. I'll get him on the line anyway. I'll call Bob right now, and I'll tell Bob I want to be your escort down there in D.C. because he don't have to go.
This is really happening.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Oh, Bob's a good friend of mine. We go way back,
Shoot
way
him a little
back.
text or a tweet.
I'll send him a tweet after. Anyway, I got to thank you for stopping by.
Thank you for having me. And you know, as you were introducing the long list of people that you've had on your show, it sounds like anyone who sits at this table rockets to fame. So I'm excited.
Well, they've done well. A lot of people have done well on this show.
So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for stopping by
Yeah.
and spending part of an hour with Bob. So stand there. Where's Nolan? Where's Nolan? Give me a song. Take us out of here. We got to do grass now. We got grass. We got a guy brings grass to my show. Now we got to talk about that. We got grass here coming to the show. Nolan, give us a song.
I'm gonna get up soon in the morning. I believe they'll dust my broom. I'm gonna get up soon in the morning. I believe they'll dust my broom. Oh yeah, I grew up in the name of loving. Now my friends can't get in my room. Oh, I'm gonna write a letter. Telephone every town I know. Gonna write a letter and telephone every town I know. Oh, and she's not in Mississippi. Must be in East Monroe.
All right. He's good. Good on that guitar there, kid.
Thank you.
Nice job. Nice job. Is he something?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I don't know how to play guitar whatsoever. And to be that accomplished at that age, he's got a good future. I was telling his dad before the show, I said, you know, last night, the Beatles, George Harrison, who was 14 years old
Yep.
when he started with the Beatles. I mean, another 3-4 years.
Well, I see his son. His son there. I interviewed his son. When he
Danny.
in Brown.
Danny was there
he
last
went,
night.
He went to Brown, as
Yep.
we
Yep.
talked about
Yep.
off camera, and his wife in Providence when he graduated from Brown.
Mm-hmm.
When I was there at the graduation, and I talked to the son and the mother, and got to meet George off camera, of course. But I got to see George, and then he passed on. He was sickly then. He wasn't feeling.
Oh, really?
Well. Yeah, he wasn't doing well then.
Oh,
Wasn't
I
doing
didn't
well
realize
back
that.
then. And it was interesting, the early Beatles, when they showed some of how they started, and there were other people. Everybody knows that before Ringo, there was another drummer, but there was actually another guy. There was another bass player too before George Harrison. They were talking about there was another. They were called by another name too. There were another band. They were in other bands, and it was very interesting. Early Beatles. In fact, I have the clip from that, but I don't think we'll get to it tonight. Anyway, you know, how did this figure out? Here we are. We're talking about the Flower Show coming to the convention center on what, the 20th?
It opens the 20th. Thursday the 20th, it opens to the public, and it'll be open through Sunday the 23rd.
Thursday, the 20th to the 23rd, and you've done pretty well for yourself and for the students of a charter school
Right, the
in
Green School.
Green, Rhode Island.
No, it's the Green School.
Green School, I'm sorry, in
West Greenwich.
Greenwich,
Right.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
But the Green School, and I guess it's named after the village of Green, is it? Is that part of it? or?
There's a connection there. Part of the connection is the fact that the mission of the school is nature, the environment, sustainability, and social issues. And we are located in Arcadia, right in the forest. We
Wow,
have two
Arcadia State Park. I bet you most people that are from north of Warwick don't even know where Arcadia Park is. But it's the biggest state park in Rhode Island.
I believe so.
It is. I used to go hunting there back in the day.
Well, we have a school chicken coop, we have 2 biodiesel school buses, and we have students from 19 school districts represented there.
Cut it out. Wow.
Yeah.
How long's it been a charter school?
This is its 4th year.
That's it.
Yeah, new school. We just had our first graduating class in June.
Wow.
And
What
we're in the
years?
4th
What
year.
grades?
Grades 9 to 12. Yep.
Wow. You've done by leaps and bounds. You've done well over there.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
And you got this right here. This project you got here.
Right.
You got that, Corey? The project you have here. Can you explain that to us quickly?
Well,
Go ahead. You can go over to it.
okay.
Go ahead. Go. Go ahead.
Okay. The students designed this, and this year the show theme, Vintage Gardens, every exhibit is required to have an antique, classic, vintage, whichever way you want to term it,
Right.
automobile or vehicle. So,
Oh, really?
Yep. And this is the first time they're doing that. And with the students, we were brainstorming together, thinking about what type of vehicle, where are we going to get a vehicle. One of the
Sure.
students in the program, he and his dad restored a 1940 antique farm tractor from their farm.
Cool.
So we decided immediately, that's it. We're going to
That's a
have
winner.
their farm tractor, which will be located right there.
Now that's
And-
that's a big area too. What'd you say? 600 square feet.
600 square feet for the entire exhibit. So,
So
the
that could be
students
10 by
designed it-
10 by 60 is what it could be, right?
20 by 30.
20 by 30.
Yeah, this is 20
Oh,
by 30.
I was getting to
Yeah,
that.
You're
20
close.
by 30, yeah. 10 by 60, 20 by 30, 600 square feet. Yes.
This will be the 3rd year in a row that students from the Green School have designed an exhibit for the Flower Show.
Nice.
And last year was also 600 square feet. And last year they came in 3rd place for the nonprofit category. So there were, I don't know, roughly about 8 groups in the nonprofit category. And last year the Rhode Island Wild Plant Society came in 1st. The Rhode Island Nursery and Landscape Association came in 2nd, and the Green School students came in 3rd.
Nice. How many kids in the school?
It's a fairly small school. We have 165 right now, or 168.
And that's in 4 grades, right?
In 4 grades total. And we will be capped out, I believe, at 225 roughly when the school is completely filled. We're actually in the process of starting the capital campaign for our permanent school, which will be located near the entrance of Alton Jones. So hopefully in 5 years
Oh, no
we'll
kidding,
be there.
yeah?
Yep, yep.
Down by URI then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
And we have students from Central Falls, Pawtucket, Providence, East Providence, Warwick, West Warwick, Cranston, East Greenwich, all the way down.
Now, how did they get there? Kids from Pawtucket and Central Falls.
The biodiesel school bus.
Are you kidding?
No, No, we pick them
The
up.
bi-diesels, you got,
We have 2 large.
I know you
bi-diesel-
said that
Yeah.
off camera. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They actually come all the way to Pawtucket to
Yeah.
bring them, and that's big in Rhode Island. I mean, all the way to Pawtucket to go down the West Greenwich.
We have students from all the way up in Central Falls and Pawtucket and all the way down to Westerly.
That's unbelievable. All right, come on.
Okay.
So this is the 20th to the 23rd. Now, how many how many kids will be at the event? Will there be kids there? Or?
Yep. We start construction Sunday morning. We're scheduled to start 9 o'clock Sunday morning, and there will be now. Keep in mind.
Have you tested this out? How long it's going to take you to build it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been involved
I'm
in
sure
this
you
for
have.
years.
I can see you're that type of guy. Yeah, yeah.
I was part of the original flower show 21 years ago
No
in Rhode
kidding.
Island. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Designing and design off and on for them over the years. And then in '99, I thought that's going to be my last show. I'm going to grad school at RISD, and that was it. And
Yeah,
about
right.
5 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Actually, about 4 years after that, friends started saying, "Could you help me?" I said, "I'll help you design, but I don't want to be part of the show
don't wanna
anymore."
be
But
part of it, right?
Little by little, I was back again, and I worked for 2 years with the Met School students, helping them design shows for the exhibits for the flower show, and then the last 3 years, the Green School. And I teach visual arts and landscape design at the Green School.
Wow. So Kurt Van Dexter,
Right.
what kind of a name is that?
Well, Van Dexter it's
I
anglicized.
would think that would be Scandinavian. That would be over like in Dutch or some
Yep,
kind of
yep,
in that
it's-
area.
it's Dutch.
Holland.
Yep. The name was originally 3 words: VAN, second word DE, third word EKSTER, Van de Exter. And it meant from the land of the magpies. And if you say it quickly, Van de Exter, it just sort of morphed into Van Dexter.
Right. Because a lot of those names, I've been over that part of the world, and a lot of those names, they have a lot of vowels in the name, a lot of double vowels.
They
like
do.
Double E's, double A's.
Double O.
Double
yep.
O's,
Yep.
lot
It's very
of
common in Dutch to have the doubles.
Yes. So when I saw the name right away, especially the van's a giveaway
Yeah.
anyway, right? That's,
Yeah.
that's almost a given. In fact, they're doing very well. The people from that part of the world are doing very well in the Winter Olympics right now.
The Dutch?
The Dutch are, yes they are. Yes
Huh.
they are. Yes they are. I think they lead. in
I think the Norwegians are leading.
Norwegians are?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
As of yesterday, anyway. I don't know about today.
The Dutch are, Norwegians. They're also leading in education, by the way. And it makes me feel terrible. Well, not feel terrible, but feel, like this country, that we live in such a great country, yet our education system is terrible in comparison. Without the help of schools like yours, the charter schools, the different schools that are going a different way than the conventional type school system. Not that we get into a political thing here, but when you can think that the American student ranks 28th to 29th in math and 28th to 29th in science in the world stage, and people in Holland and people in Finland ranks number 1, by the way, in both of those categories. Both of those categories, they rank number 1. And I was talking to some woman in a girl from China, and they don't have a summer off. They go to school all year. Mm-hmm. They get a couple of weeks off during the course of the year, and they even go to school on Saturday, and they get homework every day. And their school day is very long. I mean, it's really too much. That's why they're so. It's not that they're any smarter than we are. It's just that they go to school and it's regimented. It's built right into them. They go to school. They start at school at 7 o'clock. They work till noon. And then they go home from noon to 2, eat. But when they go home to eat, they're given homework to take home while they're eating. And then after that, they go back to school from 2 to 5. And then from 5 to 7, they go home for dinner. They eat and they get homework that time, and they go to school from 7 to 9. I mean, that's a little much.
Yeah.
That's a little too much, a little over the top, I think.
I actually have to agree with that.
That.
They need some downtime
Yeah, there's too much, and
to
again,
digest and really process what they're learning.
reproduce, regenerate or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, what do we got here? What
Okay.
is this? What is this, Chris?
This is winter rye, and the students in their design, they chose the direction they wanted to take with this design, and they wanted to design it in a farm setting around this tractor. So thinking, okay, what are we going to get? This is December when we had our week-long intensive for them to do this. Now, by September, the nurseries are pretty much shut down for the season. A lot of the designers design earlier, like September and October.
Right.
And of course, a number of the students have a farming background, and they decide, well, we could grow winter rye and have that growing. Plus, we're going to have a lot of flowers and shrubs and trees and things as well. So they want to have a crop feeling. And we have lots and lots and lots of containers of winter rye that'll be part of our exhibit.
Now you call this rye. I call this blades of grass.
Well, this is baby rye. If it grew till it matured, till it's about 3 feet tall, you'd see the rye seed heads.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah. But one of the great things about this, it grows in the wintertime when it's cold and everything's frozen over.
It still grows.
Oh, yeah.
But is this like regular grass? Can you use it as grass, or it's just?
No, because it won't last for. And this is an annual, so.
It's a what?
Annual. It's not. It's
Oh,
not
it's
a
an
perennial,
annual.
yeah.
It's not a perennial.
So it'll grow. It'll set seed and it'll die off.
Oh.
So.
And you grow this in the nursery inside?
We
Obviously.
grew it in the art room at the school.
In the art room.
Yeah.
So what other events do they have at the annual flower show this year?
What other events?
Yeah. What are anything special they got going on?
Oh, I'm sure there are a lot of special things going on, but I won't know until Sunday when I see the other designers and who's doing what. They'll have several exhibits, garden exhibits going on. They'll have the Garden Federation doing a lot of still life imagery and vignettes of their plants. They'll have the vendors. They will be having a lot of speakers come in during the 4
Right.
days of the show and various topics about learning, backyard landscape and
And a lot of
special
designers, a
horticultural
lot
things.
of outdoor designers. What do
Exactly.
they call it? What do they call it? Architect,
Landscape
architects, like you, right?
Yeah, exactly. You
Now-
have landscape architects, landscape designers, horticulturalists, landscape contractors will be there as well, some of them.
Now, do you do a lot of stuff on outside your work? Or
Well, actually, now that I'm teaching full-time,
you don't have the time for it,
I don't
right?
have the time. I really don't. But I did in the past. But one thing I am wanting to keep, interesting segue, wanting to keep my hand in it so I don't get totally separated from
Sure,
landscape
sure.
architecture. Right now, I'm the chapter president for the Rhode Island chapter of ASLA, the American Society of Landscape Architects. So I wear that hat, and I wear the
wow.
teaching hat, and then sometimes I wear, a couple other art and painting hats and stuff.
Now, do you, in the classroom, do you teach all the grades or just one grade? Or?
I teach all of them. They're usually mixed classes, not class specific. So I will have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors in one class.
In the same class?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's
But
an
I've-
interesting concept, actually.
I teach in the fall. I taught 3 visual arts classes and a landscape design class, and now I'm teaching 3 advanced art classes. The first half of the year was more foundation, learning all the basics, and now I'm teaching advanced visual arts classes, which we're getting into design, product development, visual products, graphic design, and then I also teach another semester of landscape design.
Wow, that's cool. That's interesting. It's interesting. I think my niece does some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
And where's she?
She's at URI. She works for URI. She works in the agricultural segment of URI. She graduated and now she works with them.
Okay. She
We'll
went
talk
to
about
plan. Okay.
We'll talk about that in a minute because I got my boy
Ah.
Nolan here. Nolan, you got another song for me?
Yes.
What do you got?
Oh Love by Green Day.
Oh, Love. Man, how do you know so many songs? How many songs do you know?
Over 40 probably.
Really? Now, have you done this song before?
Yes, I have done this one before.
Oh, Daddy's done this song before. All right. Is this one of your favorites?
One of them.
Yeah. Wait a minute. No, I got to ask you there. How's the girl situation doing?
It's okay.
So you got yourself a girlfriend out there?
No.
Oh, you don't? But you're playing the field, right?
Yes.
All right. How do you like that, Dad? Where do you go to school?
Nathaniel Green.
In Pawtucket on Smithfield Avenue, right?
Yes.
What grade?
I'm in 5th grade.
5th grade. What do your friends think of you on?
Well, they don't know the type of music that I play, so it's kind of, I'm like in my own world sometimes when it comes to music wise.
You're off in your own world?
Yeah, because like they listen to like hip hop and
Right,
stuff
right.
like
Yeah, that's
that.
right. Because you like more mature music, right? You like
Yes.
jazz and blues and right?
Yes.
You like more sophisticated stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it takes a little more talent to do what you do, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to scratch a record. It takes a lot more talent to do what you do.
Yeah.
Well, give us another song then, Nolan.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds great.
Oh love, won't you rain on me tonight? Oh life, please don't pass me by. Don't stop, don't stop. Don't stop when the red lights flash. Or ride, free ride. Won't you take me close to you? Far away, that's the way tonight. I'm wearing my arms underneath. Far away, that's the way tonight. Tonight, my arms are loose.
Now, you make your parents proud there, Nolan. You do a good job. You do a good job. You got to do well. Oh, wait a minute. I do have one question to ask you. Didn't you just get called by somebody? You're waiting to hear from who?
America's Got Talent, I just tried out recently, and they said hopefully I'll hear from them in about a week now.
So you got a call back once, or they talked to you? They brought
not
you
yet.
back.
If they call me, I make it. I didn't get the call yet though.
You didn't get the call yet, but you went in. What happened? Explain to me what happened.
So I went in, they gave me my sticker, and they called like the groups of numbers, and they had different people. They had people audition separately, and they said, okay, we'll call you if you made it in about 2 to 3 weeks.
And that was when? A week ago?
Like a week ago Saturday.
A week ago Saturday.
Yes.
So we're all keeping our fingers crossed that in the next week you get a phone call, right?
Yes.
You go in the big time.
Hopefully, yes.
We had a was it American Idol on here, right? Erica Van Pelt had been on the show a few times before she. Van Pelt, another van. Everything's a segue around here, right? What do we got? We got a clip there? Go on. So this event is the flower show is the 20th of February to the 23rd.
February. Right. Yeah, once again, we start setting up Sunday morning. The students will be there all day Sunday, all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and half a day Wednesday.
Wow.
Constructing it. And the show will be open to the public from Thursday through
Friday.
Sunday, and then we dismantle it in one day, the following Monday. And they're giving up their winter vacation to do this.
Really?
Yeah, they're dedicated.
How many
dedicated.
kids are participating?
There will be about 20, give or take. I mean, last year we had, I think, 14 or 15 signed up for that intensive to do it, and several others
Ended up showing up.
ended up showing up to
They
help.
end up seeing
exactly.
these other people participate.
Exactly. Yep.
Now,
So-
do you participate in the Washington County Fair?
No, we haven't been
I'm
involved in
surprised
that.
at that. I'm surprised at that.
That's
It's a great
interesting.
fair.
Yeah.
And it's right down in that area.
Oh
too.
yeah, it's right in our area, down in South County. It's down in Carolina.
And it's funny that you see people from this neck of the woods, this part of Rhode Island, as small as this state is, it's amazing to me that there are some people that just don't travel any distances. And then there are other people like myself that travel all over the place. And it's not only me. I mean, I've been in, I come off a plane in Finland and walked across the street and waiting for a bus, and a guy sitting 8 feet away from me, the only person there, and he ends up being from Cranston, Rhode Island.
Oh, that's wild.
I end up interviewing a guy from Rhode Island. I was in Thailand 2 months to the day after the tsunami they had over there.
Yeah.
And I'm interviewing a guy, and I got my own camera because I don't have a crew. I
Right.
can't afford to take a crew to Thailand. I got the camera, and I'm interviewing this guy, who I found out in talking to somebody else that he was from Rhode Island. He was a captain of a ship, of a boat, a yacht, for some millionaire, and he parked his truck along the side of the street, and he walked down to the dock, and then he mowed it out to the boat. He tied the skiff up to the boat. He started motoring the yacht out to the deeper water, and all of a sudden he felt a little ripple, but that didn't mean anything. But he heard a noise. He turned and looked, and he couldn't even see. He said he couldn't see the shore. What he could see though was his truck on the top of a wave, 3 stories high, going across the street, and right in a patio door, a big, sliding door, on the 3rd floor of a condo across the street from the water. It ended up on the 3rd floor. It took a crane to get it out days later.
Wow.
But he said he didn't even feel the wave. It was like a little tiny ripple underneath the boat. And he said, but the most amazing thing was, and the saddest thing was the second wave that came. Because after that wave came, as everybody knows now, it subsided, and it was like somebody pulled the plunger out of or the plug out of a boat, or the plug out of a bathtub. And it all emptied out, and fish were flapping around, and shrimp were flapping around, and people went rushing out into the now dry ground, which was 3 or 4 feet below water before that, and they're running out to get all the shrimp, and they're taking their shirts and throwing the shrimp on, because there's shrimp all over the place out there. And all of a sudden, he said he felt the second wave, which almost didn't inconsequential underneath him, but after it went under him, it come up, it hit the shelf of the water, because he was in the deeper water. It hit the shelf and it come up. He said this way. He said it had to be 70 feet high, and he didn't see anything, any people. They just were enveloped by this wave, and they were just wiped right out. And that was just crazy.
Yeah.
So here I am interviewing this man, and while I'm interviewing him, I got the camera on him, and we're facing the water's behind him for effect. And this couple walks by 6 or 7 feet behind him, and in camera shot, and the guy turns, looks at the camera, looks over at us, turns to his wife, he says, "Hon, look, there's Bob from Bob's Big Adventure." I heard him say that. So I stopped taping, and I called them over. I said, "You got to be kidding me. How do you know who I am?" He goes, "Well, I'm from Rhode Island. I'm from Newport, Rhode Island." He ended up being one of the owners of the now defunct, closed down Christie's restaurant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a friend of mine used to be bartender there. Yeah, Terry Leary. Actually, it was Terry's brother, but Terry's brother was
really?
bartender there for years over at Christie's, yeah. But that's what makes life, one of the things that make life special is the magic of the opportunity to run into somebody like that in an unexpected place. That's
Well,
special.
I mean, I can go on and on. I've had incident after incident.
Really?
I've been in on a cruise ship, a big cruise ship, and walking down a corridor, and I hear my name way down the other end of it all, and ended up being an old teacher I had. I mean, but in
what are the odds?
in places like that, it's a little more possible when you're on a boat with 3,000 people than it is when you walk out of an airport in Helsinki, Finland, and you walk across the street and sit on a bench, and you're looking at the signs, and you're trying to figure out where Turku, Finland is on the sign. It's not in English, so you're totally stuck. And there's a guy sitting 8 feet away, and he's the only person around you, only person around you, and you say to him, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" And he goes, "Yeah, Bob." And I went, "What?" He says, yeah. I said, no, what else did you say? He said, yeah. I said, no, what else did you say? Now I'm looking at my luggage, seeing if my name's on it, and I'm looking around, and then he's playing with me.
Uh-huh.
And I go, well, no, you said something else. He goes, yeah. I said, yeah, Bob. I said, well, how do you know my name? He says, everybody knows you. I go, cut it out. Where are you from? He said, Brazil. Now, I've been to Brazil, but I hadn't been to Brazil at that point. And what ended up happening, what it was, and he'll be watching this, he'll probably be watching this. He was from Cranston, Rhode Island. He was born in Brazil, grew up in Cranston, Rhode Island, married a girl from Finland, and he was out visiting with her in Finland. They had already got there. His wife and kids had already went, and he was there late because of business, and he was just leaving the airport like me. He was on the same plane as I was. I didn't know, of course, you know. But this is Rhode Island, two Rhode Islanders. Yet, I got other Rhode Islanders won't go from Cranston to Pawtucket. West,
exactly.
Oh my God, Westerly, it's another country. The Knickerbocker, I went down to the Knickerbocker bar or pub, whatever it is, and they do a great thing down there. They have some great talent that go in that place.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, they have some great talent there. I
Worth a ride down.
I interviewed Denny Lane down there from the Moody Blues.
Wow.
And what an interesting guy. And not only that, he hit the songs, man. Some of those guys, they come back and they do, they sing and they don't even sound anything like they did before. But this guy was on the money when he did the Moody Blues. He was on the money.
He's lucky his voice his voice stayed with him for all these years.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
All right, so again,
Anyway.
let's run through it quickly because we're going to leave this game tonight, this show tonight with my man Nolan. But before we go, the 20th to the
20th to 23rd, Rhode Island Flower and Garden Show, 21st annual.
All right, and Kim, you're leaving, and when? Mid-April. She's leaving for Washington, D.C. We're going. I'm going with you. Tell Bob Billington, Bob Venturini's going with me. Bob and I are going to Washington, D.C., the capital. And Nolan, what's your website?
Nolanleet.com.
That's a tough one. Nolan.com.
Nolanleet.com.
Nolanleet.com. All right, L-E-I-T-E, right?
Yes.
Okay, give us a song. Take us out here. Nolan, thank you for stopping by, and thank you, Kurt, for spending an hour with Bob.
Thank you very much, Bob. Appreciate it.
And Tim, thank you for spending an hour with Bob. And folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob. Until next time, see you on the other side. We'll be back from the Southeast Asia next month. Take us out of here.
Anything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, gotta promise not to stop when I say when. She sang.